people like that just came out of nowhere that shot in. There was something like 4,000. That space had like 4,500 people last night, 4,400. But like it was crazy. Like it was a small space like this here. And then all of a sudden I was reading. The next thing I know, it was like 300 people was in there, 400 people was in there, 500 people, 800 people, 900 people. And then like everybody started just disappearing again. Like there was like 35 people up in the space or whatever. And I was trying to get people to, because we were talking about this Barrington Martin cat last night and his little slavery comments. And of course, I heard you in the space earlier with DJ, but nobody seemed like they wanted to talk or speak on it. Me and Ray, we tried to keep the conversation going, but it was like, hey, the room was just kind of like, hey, well, I don't know what to say. So I was like, well, we're not gonna stress it. We're not gonna push it. So if people didn't want to talk last night, we weren't gonna force them to speak. So
okay, so hey, what did he say? Because I missed that.
He was talking about basically that all slave owners, that it's an agenda and it's a narrative that all slave owners were a certain way when they don't talk about the ones basically that was kind and that thought about the well-being of their slaves and wasn't cruel to them and this and that. He took a narrative from like 1937 where they was interviewing, I guess, this one slave that was born in 1851 or whatever. Cat was like 80 some years old, and he was saying on this one plantation he was at that everybody loved the master and the master treated them good and this and that or whatever. And he was basically saying that narrative wasn't shared enough in Black America, that they want to vilify pretty much all of the slave owners. And, he was just talking complete nonsense pretty much. And I tried to get old boy to come up into space, and I got into it with a couple of his trolls yesterday. And, he had a couple of white gatekeepers out there protecting him and talk about, if you were sincere about him coming up into space, you just would have DM'd him. You would have DM. You're just trying to shame him. You're just trying to embarrass him. You're not sincere. You're not genuine about having him come up in that space of yours. I would be dead. I would call it dead before I come up in your space. I'm like, first off, nobody invited your ass up into space, so I wasn't talking to you. So he had a Becky and he had a Brad sitting up here caping for him and whatnot, but he wasn't about to bring his black ass up in that space talking that nonsense.
Yeah, that nutcase. Well, see, he ran for the congressional position here in the 5th district, but I didn't know a lot about him, but he ran against John Lewis at one point. But yeah, and later on I found out, yeah, he's one of those old compromising nuts. Well, he's trying to get his butter biscuits from white folks, but see, here's the issue. He knows he cannot win anything in this state basically without, in the district where he was in the 5th district, if he's still living in 5th district, without the black vote. So he's persona non grata. Okay? Nobody in their right mind will vote for that fool. Yeah, these people, they are getting on my nerve with this shit. They feel like they can say whatever they want to regarding us, but they would never say that about any other demographic. But they feel like, and see, if he had those people defending him, I wouldn't be surprised if he's working for them. I really wouldn't. Because like I said, the politics here in Georgia, they I don't know which one it's for. Just like, and you heard what the mayor of Montgomery, Alabama said, right? He didn't need the black vote. As long as he got like 40-something% of the white vote, he wasn't concerned about the black vote. Now he's trying to clean it up as if, because see, he knows now black folks would not vote for him now, and I don't blame him. These people are something else. They come out and ask for our vote. They claim they know what we need, but when they get elected, they only issue us a benign neglect edict, and that's it. They make up all these excuses as to why they can't do whatever for black folks, but then when it comes to any other demographic, they have no problem.
Yeah, that's real. That's real talk, original. Like, yeah, like I say, it is what it is with this dude here. So I'm not even gonna harp on it. Like I said, a bunch of people came into the space last night. They came in really quick, didn't stay long, and pretty much nobody seemed to really want to hit it, because I thought we had a few of our people in there, but nobody seemed to really touch up on the topic. So I ended up into the space under an hour. I think the space went about 51 minutes last night. It had over 4,000 people in it, but like I say, nobody really wanted to come up to the mic. So it is what it is. It's another day. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk tonight about Lori Lightfoot. being beat last night in Chicago and her reelection bid. We're going to talk about Elon Musk backing the actual nonsense and the statements that actual Scott Adams was talking about too. Eli, now he wants to go ahead and he wants to accuse the media of being racist. And Eli, sometimes I think he must not recognize that he has one of the largest media outlets in the entire world that's called Twitter at his disposal. So, Elon is sitting up here saying this stuff, and let's not forget that under his leadership, we're having Twitter, that the actual N word has been, I don't know, it has just skyrocketed since he's taken ownership of it. So now he's sitting up here saying that, basically the media is being racist towards white folks and Asians. So quite the bombshell that he dropped. So I see we got our people coming in. I'm gonna give a shout out to Leon Original, You Original, Black, Rira, Goddess. I ain't saying she's a gold digger. To Rock Raleigh, to all you people coming up in here, what's up to you guys and stuff, y'all? Glad to have y'all up in here. We're gonna go ahead, and as our people come in, we'll go ahead and we'll touch up. We'll let them get caught up on it. But I want to go ahead and start this thing up. DJ, how you up in the space tonight? I know you be working at nighttime. You there? You out and about?
No, I'm here, bro. I ain't working tonight, man.
Okay. So let me go ahead and talk about it. And everybody, everybody's been talking about Lori Lightfoot, man. So, we had to go ahead and touch up on this as well, too. So we had to talk about Lori. This is from CNN. It's up in the Jumbotron as well, too. It says Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot will lose re-election bid. CNN projects as crime concerns grow. So, a lot of folks was as always, they blame the mayor and they blame the governor and they blame the president when crime gets to a certain level. I know many of us are not big fans of Lori Lightfoot, but let's just dig into this a little bit. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot lost her bid for a second term Tuesday, failing to make a top 2 runoff in the latest demonstration of growing concerns about crime in one of the nation's largest cities. Paul Vallis, a longtime public schools chief who ran on tough on crime message, and Brandon Johnson, a Cook County commissioner backed by progressives and Chicago Teachers Union, will advance to the April runoff, CNN projects. Tuesday's municipal election marked the first time in more than 30 years that Chicago has ditched its mayor. Lightfoot could not overcome years of fights with the police and teachers union, a spike in violent crime during her administration, and Chicago's slow recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Lightfoot conceded Tuesday evening, telling supporters that she is now rooting and praying for the next mayor of Chicago. Vallis built his campaign around pro-police, tough-on-crime message, one he highlighted in celebratory remarks after Lightfoot had called Vallis and Johnson to concede. We will have a safe Chicago. We will make Chicago the safest city in America, Vallis said, yeah, and we would love to see you actually do that as well, too. The big question over the next 5 years is whether Vallis' more conservative message will attract enough support to win a city where nearly 83% of the votes in 2020 presidential race went to the Democratic ticket. Johnson, in his speech Tuesday night, showed the first signs that he will speak to consolidate liberals who supported other candidates in the 9-person field. He cited each candidate by name. If you voted for one of those other candidates, I want you to know that I'm running to be the mayor of you too, Johnson said. Because no candidate is on course to top 50% in Tuesday's election, the top 2 of the 9 candidates on the ballot are moving on to the April 4th runoff. Lightfoot, the first Black woman and first out gay person to serve as a mayor in a city often pillared by conservatives in national debates over violence and gun control, rose to prominence as a reformer promising a break from the corruption and clubby governance that had long marked Chicago politics. But years of contentious brawls of policing, teacher pay, and the COVID-19 public safety policies, as well as mounting complaints about long waits in Chicago's public transit system, left Lightfoot vulnerable, raising the stunning prospect of the second city ousting its incumbent mayor in the first round of voting. Lightfoot found herself a few allies in her bid for a second term, and a host of powerful interests aligned against her. The Chicago Fraternal Order Police endorsed Vallis. The Chicago Teachers Union backed Johnson. Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker, with whom Lightfoot has clashed, stayed out of the race entirely. More than 507,000 ballots had been cast by the time polls closed Tuesday. Chicago elections officials said more mail-in votes will be added to that total as they arrive. Concerns about crime and public safety have rattled Chicago. Violence in the city spiked in 2020 and 2021, and though shootings and murders have decreased since then, other crimes including theft, carjacking, robberies, and burglaries have increased since last year, according to the Chicago Police Department's 2020-22 year-end report. The dynamic has been similar to what played out in other big city mayor elections in recent years. In New York City, Mayor Eric Adams won with a pro police, tough on crime message in 2021. But in Los Angeles, voters elected Representative Karen Bass last year over billionaire developer Rick Caruso, who had pumped $100 million into a campaign in which he focused on a pitch for law and order. Chicago's elections are nonpartisan, but none of the candidates on the ballot Tuesday called themselves Republicans. Still, Lightfoot sought to portray violence that way. He had attacked her record on crime early in the campaign and was backed by the conservative police union. Johnson, meanwhile, ate away at Lightfoot's support among progressives. He once advocated reducing police funding, but has backtracked from that message more recently, arguing that he meant he wants to increase funding for other priorities such as mental health treatment. Lori Lightfoot hasn't made Chicago safer, but I will, he said in the ad. It's time to get smart, just not tough. So Lori, she was getting hit from all angles. You had the teacher union supporting Johnson, and you had the police union supporting Vallas. And everything that could go wrong in Chicago during her tenure seemed to go wrong. And also, she didn't seem to endear herself or help herself as well either, because she was doing quite a bit for a lot of the illegal immigrants coming up there as well too. So I'm sure that had to really rub a lot of folks in the wrong way. She was the first openly gay mayor of Chicago. I don't know if she was the first ever gay mayor in Chicago, but I guess she was the first openly gay mayor. And though she gained a lot of supporters, I'm sure with the progressives throughout the nation, it didn't seem to help her bid up there in Chicago much at all. So Lori was a one-term lame duck governor. She came in, she tried to do a thing. I know she I believe she also they had this program where they was trying to give money to single mothers. I don't know if it was like $500 a month or something like that. She asked for, in one space we covered, she asked for something like $53 million to help with the actual illegal immigrants that was coming into Chicago as well too. So whatever efforts that she did, it just wasn't enough. In a lot of these cities, you had the tough on crime speeches. It's helping some of these actual new candidates rise to the ranks. Like they say, Mayor Adams. And Adams, let's not forget, in New York City, he does have an actual police background. So that didn't work so well down here in Florida when you had Val Demings, who was a former police chief in Orlando. She ran on a tough on crime approach against Ron DeSantis, but it was no way Val Demings was going to become the governor of Florida. Florida's not going to elect a black person, and they sure weren't going to elect a black woman either. I don't care, even if she was the actual former chief of police in Orlando. That just was not going to happen. So anybody want to touch up on that before I jump real quick and start talking about this situation with Elon Musk? Go ahead, Leon.
It's me, Newstoter. What's going on? Beetlejuice. Good riddance. And let this be a lesson to the rest of these politicians who are these black-faced politicians that don't want to do anything for black people. That was the first example of many more to come. Ras Baraka. I'm not even a Jersey dude. I know who he is. He's next. Adams is going to be next. I'm going to tell you right now, Adams is only going to be a one-term mayor. When his time's up.
Oh, yeah. I'm agreeing with you there. Yeah.
So, and a lot of these other, these black mayors, governors, like I said, the ones who ain't doing anything for black people, their time's up, and it's coming, and they know it. The Democrats know it, and they're scared because they don't even know what to do with Kamala. They don't even know if they even want to have her as running mate for Jim Crow, because the way things are going, they don't even think she'll be able to help them. Not saying she will help them any darn way, but I'm just saying, even like Clyburn, like any of they're not going to be able to carry South Carolina this time around. I can't see it. I really can't see it. That's just my opinion.
Hey, Leon, I saw a report that Jim Crow Joe talked about he might not even run 2024. But go ahead.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Well, he's darn near terminally ill. I don't have no 100% proof on that, but just seeing how this man was walking in Poland, he walked down the line of the red carpet, then he needed been held and carried on out of it, falling up the steps again. I mean, whatever chemical ingredients they're pumping in his body is just barely keeping him alive. So yeah, I can't see it either. So I'll land there.
Joker missing Magoo, like I told y'all before, just bumbling and stumbling, just having to be pointed in the right direction. I guess, like somebody said before, Mr. Magoo could at least eventually get it right, but that's who Biden is. He's like Mr. Magoo right now at this point in time. So, like,
Hey, they pumping that adrenochrome in them, Leon.
Original, what's going on? We're gonna go to Original, then we're gonna get to you. Go ahead, Original.
Yeah, what I want to say about Lori Lightfoot now, let's not forget, she tried to cover for the police when they broke into this sister's house. She worked as a social worker in the social science field, and the police broke into her house, claiming she was selling drugs or whatever. And Beetlejuice tried to cover that up. And if I'm not mistaken, too, I think she also tried to cover up or hide the report about the murder of Laquan McDonald. See, these black folks, they don't represent us. They come to us, and they want to see. Here's the issue. Now they come to us, and they claim that they understand what our needs are. But when they get elected, then they start that benign neglect eating. They go out, they take care of every other demographic, like Beetlejuice was trying to put the, move the illegal alien to the black community and stuff. And it's bad enough they're coming up in there, trying to, disenfranchise, our people, trying to get, certain jobs. But they want to coddle them, give them all kind of resources, and our people don't get a damn thing. So I think the Democrats, they are very worried, because I'm going to tell you right now, every day I see Hakeem Jeffries put out a tweet, I tell him, I say, well, he'll say something such as, well, the MAGA Republicans, I say, well, the MAGA Democrats, they hate black people. They only want to give us benign neglect, and they take care of every other demographic. But I add more stuff to it. So I think they understand that, they are going to be very scared come next year, because they see now they don't have the black vote like they once did. And the other issue is how they want to always try to wedge other people into what we get. As I told DJ this morning, and I've said it before, when Jim Crow Joe was running for the White House, he had a platform for the gay community. And all through that platform, he was demographic specific as to who the laws and resources would target that he would give them. All through it had LGBT. But when it came to black folks, he had up there, this is for minorities, people of color, low income, poor people, the disadvantaged, and Dr. Anderson said the peg legs and everybody else, to ensure that if any of the resources or laws that would be divvied out, it would be, the resources would be so weak, we wouldn't get anything. And so now they see that there are a large number of us, we going after them and letting them know, we don't have a vote for you. I don't care what you do. If we have to suffer, we're not going to suffer by ourselves. And that's what I tell them. Because if you can stand up here and take care of the illegal aliens and they can't vote you into office, that's a huge issue with me. Because we do have a vote. They don't. And I'll land with that.
Yeah, I know my girl Diane. She said she stays in Chicago, so she was definitely happy with the actual outcome of the elections yesterday. So, shout out to you, Diane, over there on YouTube, and shout out. Hopefully, you guys can find somebody halfway decent to come up there and run in Chicago and do something. So, we definitely be keeping our eyes glued on that as well. You want to say something real quick, Original?
Yeah, let me say this real quick. So, I was reading one article today. Beetlejuice started trying to use the race and gender issue, saying that, they didn't want me because I'm a black woman and I'm blah blah blah. No, you screwed black people. That's exactly what happened. And this is what happened. See, all these people need to be put on notice. This is what happened when you do wrong to black folks. We ain't backing you. just like the mayor of Montgomery, Alabama. They caught him on tape saying he didn't give a damn if he didn't get the black vote. Long he got 40-something% of the white vote, he was fine. He didn't give a damn about the black vote. This is what these people think of us. They hate for whatever reason, they hate us. We didn't do anything to these people. They come out there, they cheese and grin, they want us to come and vote for them. We give them our vote, then they turn their backs on us. They act like they don't want anything to do with us. So, but yeah, she got exactly what she deserved, and then she started trying to use a race and the gender. I mean, go somewhere and sit your black ass down, and I'll land with that.
All right. And I know Diane on YouTube, real quick, she said Brandon Johnson is a front for the teachers union and a socialist who supports illegal. So take that however you want to take that, everybody. Let me go ahead and get to thank people. How you doing tonight?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Some of you have probably heard me say this before, but we've got to get off that Democrat-Republican stuff. And we need to look at with the bills that people put forth, what they vote for and against, and who their supporters are. If you guys are seeing what's happening, you've got DeSantis basically changing the government and saying he's just going to have one party in Florida, and he's removing black books, and he's removing black history, and he's doing all kinds of stuff, right? In Tennessee, they're trying to bankrupt an HBCU. There's a white guy that went to Howard, and he was, saying racial things, and he got kicked out. So now he's suing them. And you've got this, I think this guy was in Tennessee, this Republican guy talking about we need to bring back lynchings. There have been a number of executions that have been taking place as well, and a lot more of these politicians want to bring those back. So all I'm saying is none of our options are good. And so we have got to look for people that are going to keep us safer as we move our agenda forward. In my opinion, we can't just go, oh, that's a Democrat, we're not going to vote for them, and then vote in people who are going to vote and say, yes, let's bring back lynching. Because to me, it doesn't look like anybody's trying to stop any of this bullshit that they're doing. So we have to be smart and not emotional about this shit, right? Because a lot of white folks, to me, are out there ready to kill us off. And if we allow them to legalize it and put enough judges in place to let people get off, we are done. There will be no reparations. There will be no separate town. There will be none of that. So I'm just saying we have to forget about party because none of them are for us. And we have to look at what each individual is actually putting forth and what they actually voted for and against and who their supporters are, because they're going to do their white supporters bidding before they do ours, no matter whether they're black or white or brown, because at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. They are trying to win. And since our population is not as big, they're going to try to appeal to other people too. Unfortunately, the way that things are, they'll never win if they just talk about black issues. Unfortunately, but it is true. So we got to put our big boy, big girl panties on and say, okay, fuck everybody. We are just going to pick people that are going to help us get where we needed to go. I said this before, but when the Civil Rights Act passed 60 years ago, white folks at that time were like, oh, fuck this. We want to take them back to Jim Crow, and we're going to do everything in our power to make it happen. And they weren't hollering about it. They weren't saying, this is what we're going to do. They just worked their plan, and now here we are. So we've got to do that same thing. We're going to have to hold our nose sometimes, but we have to put a strategy in place and we have to at least get people in place that will do no harm. With that, I'll land my plane.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rel, I'm going to get to you real quick. Then I'm going to get to Rivera and I'm going to get back to you, Original. Real quick, y'all hold your thought. I just want to go ahead and touch up on this next article very, very quick from Black Enterprise. It's up in the Jumbotron as well, too. Let me give a shout out to Brother McCoo for your contribution on Cash App. It's titled, Elon Musk accuses media of racism at the newspaper drops Dilbert cartoon. On Sunday, billionaire Elon Musk accused the media of being racist against whites and Asians after U.S. newspapers dropped a white comic strip author who made derogatory comments about Black Americans. The Los Angeles Times, the Washington Post, and the U.S. Today were among newspapers that canceled the cartoon Dilbert after its creator, Scott Adams, said Black Americans were a hate group and posted racist comments on his YouTube channel on Wednesday. In replies to tweets about controversy, the Telsa and Twitter chief executive said the media had long been racist against non-white people, but now are racist against whites and Asians. Maybe they could try not being racist, Musk tweeted. In response to an account that said white victims of police violence get a fraction of the media coverage compared to Black victims, Musk said the coverage is very disproportionate to promote a false narrative. Musk did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Musk's views on social issues have been increasingly under the microscope since he took over Twitter in October. He has sparred with civil rights groups over Twitter's level of protection against hateful content and reinstatement of some accounts that had been previously suspended. Some advertisers have left the platform over concerns about brand safety, and Twitter has rolled out some new controls for ad placement. Musk's latest tweets come after Dilbert creator suggested white Americans get the hell away from Black people. Adams was responding to a poll created that reported that said 26 of Black respondents said they disagree with the statement, it's okay to be white. The move to drop the cartoon was not a difficult decision, the Plain Dealer newspaper in Ohio told its readers. So I just want to touch up on that real quick. And Musk is sitting up here, and he comes to the aid, and he runs up to the aid to defend this man, Scott Adams, after Scott Adams made clearly racist comments. He also went on to go ahead and say that, basically the media, like I said, and he's one of the biggest media conglomerates by having Twitter in the world. He's sitting up here saying, well, yeah, the media used to be racist against, basically against non-white people, but now it's racist against whites and Asians. So what alternate universe he's living in where it's racist against whites and Asians, I like to know, because I definitely don't see that. Like I say, he controls one of the biggest, he is the media himself. So just to put that in perspective, you have one of the largest social media sites in the entire world. It's under his thumb. And like I say, the N-word has increased 500% since he's taken over in October. So all this stuff that he's talking about, the racism and this and that or whatever, and basically now is reverse racism. Now he's using a protected class because they've made Asians a protected class, and he's trying to shoehorn himself in there with it. So not surprising whatsoever to hear this from Elon Musk. Rel, I know you had your hand up, so I don't want to go on too long. So I'm going to get to you. Then I'm going to get to Rivera had his hand up as well too. Original, you had your hand up. So after them, let me go ahead and I'm going to get to Mr. Engaging, and then I'll go ahead and get back to you, Original, and I'll get to you, Leon, as well too. So Rella, how you doing tonight?
Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight?
We doing good.
Good. Hey y'all, hey Original, Leon, Brother Moo in the building. And Ray, it's so good to have you back. I hope all is well with you and the family, as well as everyone. And I know DJ, I didn't see him tonight. And shout out to the room. Peace to the room. You know what? Elon Musk is, he's always shown his hand. And, what's so funny, because there was a guy, his name was Robbie Starbuck, I believe, and this guy is an immigrant. He's I think he's either a Latino or Polish or something. But he had reposted that same Rasmussen poll and some other polls. And I said, it's so funny how all these white people got these polls, right? And somehow, some way, conveniently, they happen to have like a few black people to take these polls, but none of us ever see these polls. The polls have never shown up nowhere on our timeline, for us to take or anything like that. But somehow these random people are able to get these polls and take these polls. So I honestly sometimes don't even trust that. But I think it's almost like a gateway, like these games they like to play against us in regards to having a reason to be racist. You don't need a reason to be racist. Just be who you are. I like to see my racists out front. I want to see my racists in my face. The ones that are the most dangerous is the ones that you can't see. Okay? And the other thing is on in regards to Scott Adams and Elon Musk tried to act like he didn't know why black people, especially black Americans, are upset, because he made a comment. He was like, I don't even understand what their issue is. I said, wow, it's so funny hearing that from him, and he's from South Africa. Apartheid was a huge part of history that he conveniently ignores. Conveniently. But he claims to be South African American, but he don't claim South African apartheid. See, because he knows what he's doing. And he knows for a fact that all these people running around this damn Twitter space, they do degenerate shit. They do. That's why the guy in Tennessee said that he wanted to invoke a lynching bill as a means of execution. Think about that. What other group always talks about hanging somebody from trees? No other group does that. No other group talks about lynching people and then tries to hide their hand and say they don't know nothing about history and why black history is so important. So they all a bunch of degenerates. That's how I feel. And I do agree that, we are going to have to run these boards when it comes to getting ourselves involved in politics. And we're going to have to try to crash these boards. And at the same time, we need to make sure that we are working on our plan. Because I'm not going to put my trust in a Republican or Democrat unless I'm running. And I know for a fact that I'm running on my people's agenda. See, I can still represent all of America, but I can make sure I put my people's issues that are first. Because that's essentially what everyone else is doing to us. They're putting our issues, even if not at all, on any ballot, which is why Lori Lightfoot lost, because she was trying to play them reindeer games. And I do agree with Leon. All of them politicians are about to be out, SOL, on their ASS. And that's how it should be. And for anyone else to try to shame you into voting for a politician, you tell them to go to hell with gasoline draws on. Because at the end of the day, it's our livelihood that is pretty much on the chopping block. Our generations are being erased, genocide out of oblivion. And white people are getting ready to feel the brunt, white Americans especially, because they've allowed a lot of immigrants to come over to the country and pretty much disenfranchise everybody. And they thought that they were going to be excluded as long as these people came over to the country and identified as white. But they forgot. These motherfuckers got culture. They actually work together, and they will buy their time until the time is right. And guess who's going to be left holding the bag? Black Americans, as it always has been throughout history. They've always used us to come in like the Black Knight and save the MFing day. So I'm gonna put it to you lightly. I agree with Think People. I agree with, like I said, Leon, and I think all of us who have always been on the mission of reparations, reparative justice, atonement, and motherfucking reinvestation into ourselves, our economics, and we have to keep moving the needle and working the plank. Forget about everyone else at this point. We have to work the plan. So Elon Musk gonna be who he is, and like I said, we need to Twix it. If you don't know what that means we need a time and day and exit where we go ahead and blow up social and all of our black media, and we go ahead and make sure that they are able to stand on 2 or 3 legs, so we can get ourselves moving. Newstoter, we need him expanding, and the rest of our businesses for whatever they are. It's time to get busy, and if you ain't busy, you need to find some business. All right, love y'all.
Thank you, Rella. We love you as well, too, so thank you. And she's right. We need to go ahead and try to expand, and we need to try to go ahead and get our own stuff as well, too. So up in the Jumbotron on the far left hand, for any of you guys interested, we have the actual social link up in there. You can go ahead and click on that social link, and you can actually go ahead and create your a profile. It doesn't take long. Create your profile. Go ahead and join social. Become a member. Trying to go ahead, and we're trying to elevate the social platform over there as well, too, guys. So please go ahead and support a Black-owned platform. Also, up in the Jumbotron, you will find the Newstoter YouTube channel as well as the actual newsletter. We need everybody in the space to go ahead and go to YouTube and sign up, or not sign up, but just go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So it doesn't take any time. While the space is going, you can go ahead and you can click it. It's the third or fourth in the middle of the Jumbotron. It's not a whole bunch of stuff up there. Just go ahead and click it and subscribe to the actual YouTube channel. When you get a chance, go ahead and subscribe to the actual newsletter as well too. For those that's able to, though, for those that can, please think about supporting us on Cash App as well too. That's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, the largest Black American-owned news curation media platform today in America. And we need you guys to support us to help us grow so we can reach the masses. We're putting out content, valuable content every day. All the articles we talk about up in here every day, we tweeting them out. That's coming right off of the actual platform too. So please, if you can, support us on Cash App. That is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you don't have an actual Cash App, you can support us on PayPal or Venmo. That's also in the Jumbotron as well too. Let me go ahead and kick it to Rivera. Rivera, how you doing tonight? Hey, how you doing? You're pretty low there, Rivera. Let me hear you say something again, because you're pretty low.
Okay. How's it going?
Okay, I can hear you a little bit better now. Go ahead.
I don't live in proximity where Lightfoot. There's a multitude of different things. I think this is what I was going to get at earlier. I had made back in the day.
Hey, Rivera, is it any way that you can speak up a little bit louder? Because you I don't know if you have headphones on or anything, but you kind of really, really low.
Yeah, I got headphones on.
Okay. Yeah, because you really low there. But if you could just try to speak up a little bit louder, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit better.
The Lori Lightfoot thing, I don't live in Chicago, so I don't really have anything to bring for that. However, I did.
Hey, Rivera, let us come back to you because you sound like you may be having some technical issues. So we'll come back to you in a little bit. Let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engaging. Mr. Engaging, go ahead and unmute your mic. You there, Mr. Engaging?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. You got it.
Wait, my bad, man. Twitter out here pleading janky. My bad, family. I'm out here doing the late night clean.
No.
Hearing what I'm hearing right now, I'm glad Lori Lightfoot is out of the race. And what it comes across to me is that if you're not talking about reparations in the hate crime bill, you should not be running. End of discussion. It comes down to Lori Lightfoot, Stacey Abrams, Keisha Bottoms. Who else? It's a list of these clowns that TBA don't put up a sign right in front of their block, telling them what it is. So that's how I observe it, and it's not because I'm riding on this dude's coattail. I'm just looking at the results, and the results with the votes is saying that if these candidates, specifically Black foundational American candidates or Negro American candidates, or however they want to identify themselves, but we know who you are. If they ain't talking about reparations and a hate crime bill, get out of the way. That's what it's saying to me.
Yeah, real talk. I can't disagree with you saying. And like I say, a lot of Black people too feel a certain way that they feel Lori Lightfoot did not do a whole lot for the Black people up there in Chicago, and that she also went out of her way to go ahead and try to get additional funding and resources and money and allocate it for the actual a lot of the migrants that was coming up there as well too. So black people, they feel a certain way about that. I mean, if you're gonna help a migrant and somebody who's not even a citizen of this country, then let's be for real. She couldn't have got in the office without black people. So they took it a certain way. And I think Leon, you said earlier you don't believe that because Leon, you actually next, I believe, but you say you don't believe that that Eric Adams is going to be mayor again. I don't believe that either. I think we might be looking at a David Dinkins situation all over again, a one-term black mayor, and he's going to be up out of there. Just like David Dinkins preceded Giuliani, I think that he's going to sit up there. They got him. They put him up there because he's part of the police force and this and that or whatever. He said all the right things and stuff. And I know he's talking about he's not going to separate church from state and all this other stuff. But yeah, you are. You'll separate. You'll do whatever the Democratic Party says because the Democratic Party been separated church from state. So let's knock it off here with this nonsense here, man. You're gonna do exactly what your handlers tell you, and church and state have been long separated from the Democratic Party. So you'll do exactly what they say. But let me give a shout out real quick to my girl Sandra. Sandra, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Leon, you got it. We're going to go to Leon, then we're going to go to Thank, and then we're going to touch up on the last article just talking about on Scott Adams as well too. And anybody that's in the that's in here listening and that wants to come up and speak, just go ahead and request a microphone to come up here and speak. But you got it, Leon.
All right, thanks, News. I'm going to go away with the Lightfoot. I'm going to hit this Scott Adams and Elon Scott Musk, our favorite African American, whatever the hell you think he is. I've been listening to TBA and he's been hitting Elon Musk. It's crazy between him and Professor Black Troop. The man's a fraud. The man only has a vague idea, and when it comes to white supremacy, they throw all the money at him. And why? Because the whole new Green Deal, he's going to pave the way with his cars. So they have to make Tesla a success. Or the Green New Deal is a Green New joke. And something I've been thinking about too. I don't know if anybody knows. Back up in Buffalo, when Gidron went out and assassinated all our people at the supermarket. Did you know that the brother, who was the security guy, had a truck and it was running off of water? I forgot what the kind of system is called. I guess like a hydrogen or something like that. Makes me wonder, because in that same area where we were at, they have a Tesla battery plant not far from where that happened. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if there's an underlying thing going on why they sent that boy to take him out and everybody else that was around. Because think about it. If you could get that hydrogen system, and his system, people been doing it for years. But this brother's system, he had it so compact. You could set it up in an old Volkswagen Beetle and shit would work. You know what I'm saying? That's just how far he brought that technology. I think he was only running off like 4 bottles of water. I think his whole system was running only off 1 battery, 4 bottles of water. That was it. That was the smallest I ever seen set up like that. So, yes, I'm saying it. I think Musk and the government had something to do with the whole thing. Because like I said, the government has to have Tesla succeed in order to get this whole Green Deal thing going. Because they're really starting to push all these car manufacturers to put out, within the next 5 years, to put out at least one full electric or whatever alternative fuel system vehicle, they have to develop and be able to sell one. And so far, almost all the manufacturers have at least one so far. That's actually that's either on the market now or coming to be on the market. No matter if it's a damn truck, SUV, car, doesn't matter. They only have to have one. So there's a lot of things going on. But like I said, they give this guy so much slush fund money for his ideas. It's ridiculous. And we already know what's going on over with that other con over there in Ukraine, because that's another con game. And yes, I'm just going to say, yes, they're fucking with our reparations. There's so much billions upon billions leaving this country. There's so much billions and billions they're giving it to this nut job, this Afrikaner. They could have been paying our reparations almost 10 times over by now. All right, 6 times over, to be a little bit more accurate. So it's all a damn con game. Now on to Scott Adams. I want to get to this because I'm kind of busy right now doing things, so I'm just going to be listening after this. Scott Adams, he's irrelevant. He's a washed-up comic strip author, writer, whatever, designer. I actually got a chance to listen to his whole spiel. He sounds just like any of these older white men that I deal with out in public at my government job. They all think like, especially this little town where I work at, they all think like him. They all act like him. So yes, I even get to look to, like, they're shocked to see, whoa, first of all, black men having a government job, and then they say, how'd you get it? Oh, I guess Obama must have gave you your job and all that. Yeah, I go through that all the time. Trust me. All the time. But like I said, Scott Adams is irrelevant. Elon's a joke. That's why I don't even carry my Twitter thing no more, the blue check. Because I figured $11 and the shit that this guy Afrikaner is saying about our people, I'm just like, I don't want to support it anymore. Hell, I don't even want to really be on here, but I'm supporting Newstoter. You know what I'm saying? And my people. So there's other, I know like Mr. Gagement, he be in co-hosting on different spaces. Ray, DJ, wherever the hell he disappeared to.
He got booted off. He lost contact on his, so he had to go to YouTube.
Got it. Like Rella or Black, hopefully, we could get another chat platform like this, but the technology is there. There's more and more of this technology on. I mean, just think about it. Twitter does a chat, video, voiceover chat. Snap does a video, voiceover chat as well. So does Facebook. So I mean, there's probably other low-budget remedial ones that probably have the same capabilities. We just got to find one, hold it down, whatever. If we have to all chip in, you know what I'm saying? And we could just take it off of this platform and go to our own, and just like those white supremacists got their own with that pager and whatever the hell the other one, baller. You do it does, like they got little chat rooms that does the same thing. You can talk on and all that jazz. So we just got to find one that we could just deal with that's ours, because I know the capability is there, and just migrate over. I land. Y'all have a good night. I'm just going to sit back and listen.
All right, Leon, I appreciate you. Have a good night. Don't work too hard or whatever you're doing. Relax. Thank you for coming in and supporting as always. So we appreciate that.
Wait, Newstoter, before Leon goes, Leon?
Yes, Rella.
Hey, beautiful. I need you to get your tail over on social. And if you on Fanbase, get on Fanbase and link up. I'm on there too. Whatever other black platform that you might find that you want to get on, send me a message. I create an account and I'll link up with you. I don't care what platform it is at this moment in time. We know of 4, I believe, at this point. 6 zeros is one. I think there's another one and some other ones. So social most definitely is growing. Please, if you're on fan base, link up with me. I don't care where we are, link up. I don't care what your acronyms is, how you identify, what you feel like you want to be called. If you're a yellow bluebird in the sky and you black, link up with me. How about that?
You got it. I am on social, actually. Name, picture, and all is on there. I just started 6 zeros. I didn't complete my profile yet, and the fan base. I've been hearing good things about it. I just haven't jumped on that yet.
All right. Thank you, Leon. Like I say, make sure you enjoy the night. And also, guys, if you want to join social, I have that up in the Jumbotron as well, too. The link is up there, so you can go ahead and click on that. Rivera, I know you was having some technical issues earlier. Are you straight now, or Rivera, you there?
Yeah, I turned my Bluetooth headset off.
Yeah, you got to kind of speak up a little bit louder, though, because you're really low.
I said I turned my it might just be hold on, let me go down.
All right. Let me give a shout out to my man Napoleon. Napoleon, thank you for your contribution on Cash App too. When he get it straightened out, we're gonna bring him back up here. To then, Brother McCool, I saw you try to get up here earlier and you disconnected. I got you up here, so let me go ahead and let you get in. How you doing tonight?
What's up, Toba? What's up, everybody? Oh, it's been a minute since I've been in the spot. Can y'all hear me clear? I am driving, so I'm trying to speak loud. I keep it short.
Yeah, we got you. We can hear you.
Okay. I definitely agree with everything I've been hearing so far. Definitely, Rella. I urge with everyone else, social is the spot. They got the live spaces on. We were on the space, me, Gray, and a couple other people. I heard them clear. I think soon they're coming up with spaces where where we can see like a Zoom. It'll be like 9 people, I think. Gray said. So yeah, I definitely am on to that. I get like almost 100+ notifications a day. So I'm definitely more on the social now than anything. For the Scott Adams, I just want to agree with what Leon was saying. And I also want to add that this is a distraction, guys. That legal lynch bill shit, all this shit is happening. And I think they brought up a really good point. It's all revolving around what happened up in what happened up in Buffalo, and that officer that was killed up there. He was going to put all of these electrical car businesses out of business. And here in Maryland, I believe next year, 2024, they're making it mandatory for us to have electrical vehicles. They're not making a big riff about it now, but guaranteed, summer 2020.
We lost you for a second, Brother McCool. I don't know if you might have hit an area. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I am driving.
Oh,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Because you said summer 20, they summer 2022 or something. You said summer 20 something.
Summer 2024, they're going to make it mandatory here in Maryland that everyone drives a electrical vehicle. That's something that I think they're going to roll out in a lot of states, definitely the major states, something we need to look out for. And they're throwing a lot of distractions at us. I definitely think Scott Adams is a distraction. That whole bit, we got to look deeper into what they're trying to distract us from. And I land there. I know I'm a little in the matrix, but I'm driving on the highway, guys.
All right, bro. We appreciate you. Like you said, it's been a little minute up since you've been up in here. So glad to have you, Rivera. I'm going to try you again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, Rivera.
Maybe it's my phone. Okay, so the thing about Lori Lightfoot, I don't know who she lost against. I don't think anybody really liked her. That's one, the Gilbert guy, Adam Scott or Scott Adams. I remember Marcel had gotten it. It might have been this space the other day. And there was I think his name was Leon. He just spoke. He just kind of said, guys, kind of done with it. But Marcel made a point to kind of, I've been saying, even with the Gabrielle Union thing, you had that space. These people are nobody. They're doing this because they know it's done. And nothing else is working. Let me be edgy. Let me say something that's going to make me go viral, if you will. Because nothing else that I say is, obviously, if I talk about the weather or something like that, or the pandemic, those aren't hot topics. So let me talk about black people. That's really going to get people riled up because everybody's already got the one up on the pandemic and global warming and all that other crap. So these people just want attention. Just like these people that get on these spaces, provide no scholarship. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I am one of those people. I am not here to provide scholarship. I am here to troll and fuck with people. That's my thing. When I get on Newstoter space, I enjoy listening to you guys because I can get scholarship. I can actually gain something. When I get in these other spaces, I can't gain anything. So you have to treat it like that. I notice some of y'all don't go in certain spaces, and if I do see you at the bottom, you immediately are in there and gone. And that's because you know it's nothing for you to gain out of it. You have to treat these people the same way. They're the exact same people. They're trolls. They just have a little more notoriety or they've done something. And they know that now that everything's falling, now that the ship is sinking, I got to figure out a way to get this ship back on the sea. The lynching thing, and I'm gonna be concise. I know Newstoter got another shit. Newstoter, not Newstoter, but the lynching guy. That's another thing. I know people are like, well, you just said you were a troll. I don't think. I think that's a means of psyops. And what I mean by that is they know the trauma that is behind lynching, and even if that were to go through, there's nothing we can do about it. I honestly think that because obviously there would be a trial. Hello, somebody say something.
No, nobody said anything.
Okay, I think they would have to go through a trial. I think there's like a couple states that still have lynching on the table. Honestly, they just don't utilize it. They utilize the newer systems.
Hold on, real quick. I think people. I think your mic might be on.
Oh, let me turn it off. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. No, I thought somebody had said something. So the other with the shooting, lining people up. I think that's still on the table too in certain states. They just don't utilize that either. They still go by, the same thing with electrocution. I think that's still available. They just would rather do injection. That's the most common. But they know that it's a good talking point. Once again, here I am trying to get some attention, and I know white supremacy is on the rise. What better way to get a bunch of votes from a bunch of fucking idiot inbred motherfuckers who live in trailer parks and are not going to leave? Because we all know the rich white people won't get their ass up as well. But we know that the poor white people are not voting just like poor black folk are voting. For the most part, they're not getting up. There's not a way to get them to the voting polls or whatever reason. So what better way to get them to be more wanting to go vote than this, and to say some stupid fucking shit that's gonna piss black people off, but it's gonna make you feel good about you because now we're going back to the good old days. Remember, Trump ran on the platform of Make America Great. I didn't know what the fuck that was. When that first came out, I was like, well, that sounds funny. I didn't know that came from the birth of the nation. I may be wrong, but I didn't know that they came from and even if it wasn't that, it's like it's got deep-seated history and the most racist bullshit, pre-Jim Crow bullshit. So what better way than to trigger black people and make white people feel good about the future than to say, we're going to bring back lynching. Now we all know that there's going to be an avenue that before the lynching would happen. But even if the person is still convicted of murder and then 12 years later they get lynched, that still doesn't look fucking good. Now, I end with this. I said I like to troll, and Newstoter, I know it's space, so I'm not gonna say anything too crazy. We are definitely at war, and we all know this. I was in the Marine Corps for a while. The acts that have been happening for the last, I'd say 30-something, the amount of time that I've been alive, probably prior to that, even the 70s. But more importantly, the acts that have been happening since my daughter's been alive for the last 11 years. These are acts of war. And our children are the future. And they're witnessing shit that our grandparents used to see. We're at war. We've been asking these motherfuckers to get it together. We've been asking them for a long time. I might have done this, but hey, give me a decent trial. And we watch white people do the exact same fucking shit, get 1 day in jail, or get a slap on the wrist, right? We're not getting equal there's two different judicial systems. Obviously, it's not a single judicial system that operates for black folk. Works for everybody else but us. We ask them not to do stupid shit like kill us. We ask them not to let civilians kill us. They let them do it, get away with it. Minus the last 3 other times, Ahmaud Arbery and Dr. James, Gene, he wasn't even a black guy, and then they end up kissing that motherfucking bitch's ass. We're at war. I know that people get a little emotional, and I know that all women are very strong, but I'm saying prepare like the white folk prepare. And that might sound a little crazy. I've been saying stuff, and I was going to make a point earlier about this. I had said a long time ago and pissed certain people off that I hang around with family members. It's funny that when people die, everybody loves them right when they die. You got the dude that was a good dude, you got the good dudes, you got all these other people. It doesn't matter what walk of life you went through. When you die, they put you on a fucking t-shirt, and in the next fucking couple months or the next year, nobody's talking about your ass. We gotta keep living, we gotta keep moving on. So we doing this, and they're doing whatever threats to our children and our next generation. When we're not here, guess what? The next generation is gonna be dealing with the same bullshit, and so on and so on. They're doing shit. We can just wipe them out. We can just do whatever we want to. The old guard is gone. Now we can do whatever we want. Because guess what? The rate that got that, we were doing all this shit to them. We just slowly did this little passive aggressive bullshit to them. Now they're not really getting as mad as they used to. See, and I land here, like I said, I won't say too crazy. See, when you look at Israel, Palestinians, after a while they got so upset that they started.
You starting to break up again, Rivera.
No, you're good. I landed the plane. You're good.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. I'm glad we finally able to get you for the most part there. I said we got my girl on. We got Think People. We got original Mr. Engaging, but we got my girl Aunt Lie up here as well too. So let me go ahead and get to the new speaker, Miss Engaging. You had your hand up. Did you still want to speak, or I know you came back up to speak as well. Anybody that wants to speak, put your hand up just so I can.
Yeah, I wanted to touch more into that Dilbert cartoon a little bit more from a different perspective, because I didn't hear anybody I heard a reference to it, but that was one of the main things that you discussed. Am I correct?
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about that in a second again too. I'm gonna let me let Aunt Lie come up here real quick, and then we'll go ahead and we'll dig in on that as well too.
Hello, how y'all doing?
What's up?
Nothing, just my business page. I'm trying to be professional. I want to hear about what you got to say about the comics too, because I don't know what the topics was really about. I do know when he was saying we at war, that's 100% correct. The justice system is not designed for us. They do things in the system, and they throw a rock and then they hide their hand. Like, I'm losing cases, or like everybody know my lawsuit. So I'm losing motions that I'm not supposed to be losing. But the thing is, they think that once the case is settled, remember, it's sealed. So all of the rights they violated of mine, to everything they're doing, nobody will know that they're actually doing it to me. Now, right now, it's public information. I just lost the motion on the 24th, which basically saying that you can intimidate my witnesses and I can't sue you because of it, because they're the courts. So they're going to protect their employees. And they're going to get away with it because once we settle, all these documents are going to be closed. So they know what they're doing. So I have no remedy for relief or the average person. And this is why when you see people do things to places of employment, it was a black gentleman in New Jersey who just did something, and the person was a Republican, and they're no longer here, and we get confused because they played the game. Like he said, we're at war. We don't know that we're at war. We're thinking we're at a time of peace because they're telling us, look, you are treated, black people and white people are treated, you're not discriminated against while they discriminate against you. They're playing a psychological mind game. They're saying one thing and doing another. No, all police are not bad. While they have all police departments in every 50 states have killed people, unarmed or questionable shootings, but we can't blame it on all police. And they're doing one thing and they're saying another. And since they are saying what sounds good, what the media puts out there, then we don't think that we're under attack or it's us against them because they're telling us, no, we're not at war. It's not us against them. But in reality, they know what they're doing. They're making the laws. They're making the policies. They're lining everything up. So even if you do have a lawsuit and you do get discrimination, there's no civil trials in the county that my case is at. So you had 3 black women suing. We're getting our day in court. They filed a motion to dismiss and lost. We won that motion. Now we're going against guess what? No more trials. So again, it's you getting your day in court. Now, mediation is mandatory mediation. Mediation is confidential. Guess what happened with confidentiality? It didn't happen. Guess what happens with a settlement? It didn't happen. So they play chess while we play checkers. They're setting themselves up to make everything that was done to me and other people go away. And what the guy said is very, very true. Like, since he's been born, all our life, I'm gonna say since 1865, they've been at war with us.
Real quick,
we are told that we're not.
Real quick on live, because I need to go ahead and touch up on that article. You said you wanted to hear about the actual cartoon cat real quick. So let me touch up on that real quick, and then because we've been talking about Lori Lightfoot and Elon Musk, but people wanted me to mention about Scott Adams. So let me real quick, and then you can jump back in. But this is from Amalgam, and it says it's up in the Jumbotron as well, too. Famous Dilbert cartoon writer Scott Adams tells whites get the hell away from black Americans. They can't be fixed. The creator of the popular Dilbert cartoon, which is syndicated in newspapers nationwide, has just canceled himself. Scott Adams went on his YouTube channel, Real Coffee with Scott Adams, to express his dislike and mistrust of black people in a racist rant on February 22nd. Adams created the workplace-focused Dilbert comic strip in 1989. During his YouTube rant, he encouraged his white followers to follow the philosophy of racial segregation to escape black people. He encouraged them to move to neighborhoods with few black people. He said black people were basically a lost cause and referred to black people collectively as a hate group. During this video, he cited a recent report survey, Not Woke Yet, Most Voters Reject Anti-White Beliefs, showing 53% of black people agree with the phrase, it's okay to be white, which the Anti-Defamation League has deemed as a hate slogan. It's kind of strange that the Anti-Defamation League would deem that as a hate slogan. I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is just get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Whenever you have to go, just get away, because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed, Adams railed. Adams also said helping black people was not worth it. So I don't think it makes any sense as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore. I like to know exactly when they was helping, but Adams says it doesn't make sense. There's no longer a rational impulse. So I'm going to back off on being helpful to black America because it doesn't seem like it pays off. I'm pretty sure in this dude's entire lifetime, he hadn't done a damn thing for black people. He added, the only outcome is I get called a racist. Well, you get called a racist because it's true. That's the only outcome. It makes no sense to help black Americans if you're white. It's over. Don't even think it's worth trying. His rant has already caused Delbert to be dropped by several media outlets. The Cleveland Plains Dealer newspaper one issued a statement that said it was dropping the Delbert comic strip from his pages because of the creator Scott Adams' racist rant. Adams' reprehensible statements came during Black History Month when the plain dealer has been publishing stories about the work being performed by so many to overcome the damage done by racist decisions and policies, the newspaper said. The Washington Post said it stopped publishing Delbert and Lyda Scott Adams' recent statements promoting segregation. This is not the first time Adam has come under scrutiny for his racist views. In 2022, Delbert was pulled from 77 newspapers over so-called anti-woke plot lines, the Toronto Sun reported. The storylines included the black worker who identified as white being told to also identify as gay to help improve his company's environmental, social, and governance ratings, News One reported. So, Aunt Lai, you just reading that real quick. Is anything you want to touch up on that real quick? Because I know you're saying that you didn't get a chance to hear that, but I got told I meant to get to it earlier, but everybody's been kind of going in on these other topics. But is anything, because we're talking about Lori Lightfoot losing in Chicago, and we're talking about Elon Musk, who's actually been backing this dude right here and sitting up here saying that, the media is racist against whites and Asians and stuff of that nature. So if you want to add something real quick, whatever, you go ahead. You there, Aunt Lai?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'm gonna listen, but like I said, Elon is in line with all of everybody that's online. They know what they're doing. That's how you control the media. The revolution will not be televised. They're controlling everything. And it was a point where we would have our voice. They take our voice from us. So it's just a matter of, I'm not surprised at a racist for being racist at all. The fact that he was saying black people should get away from white people, y'all been the one doing everything to us. You can't sit there and tell me when black people have ever done anything to any other race in the amount equal to anything that's been done to us. So for him to say that what he's saying is delusional, but that's the type of fear mongering and the fear they're trying to get the attention from. And I hate to say it, but the poorly uneducated whites, because that's what they hold on to. They thinking like, those are the ones who grab their pearls, and those are the ones getting the fear. They don't see you're not dealing with people who actually have reality. So, we're not dealing with the sharpest pencil in the body. We're dealing with a lot of dumb folks. So they know that when they hear these things coming from different people in different areas, that energizes them. That gives them the boost that they need. We just have to get off of their stuff and give them the attention that they ask for. We don't need them; they need us. We the life of the party. Hip hop is the number one music for a reason. All black people, the athletic, we are the life of the party. They're not. So if we give them what they really want is a life without us, they would be miserable. That's why they was looking to explore something else, because they couldn't deal with each other over there with the king. But I'll end my plane. It's good to see y'all.
It's good to see you. Y'all on what?
Subscribe to my page. My new one.
I think I'm following you already. So when I saw the name, I already knew who it was. Yeah, I saw when I saw the name, I knew who it was. So I went ahead and followed you right ahead. So thank you, sister. I appreciate you. It's been a little minute since you've been up in the space as well too. I see the I see your other profile up in here as well too. So I do see you from time to time up in there. It's just been a little minute since you actually spoke. But thank you as always.
I've been having court, and did you get I sent you the edited copy of the book with the gift in it, and I had court the 24th. I lost my motion. I'm pissed. There's nothing I can do about it, but just make sure I write my book and tell the facts of the matter, because what they're trying to do. Oh, let me tell you, I had career day at my son's school. So at career day at my son's school, I was there as an author, and I was talking about my place of employment and how, it was racist and how I filed a lawsuit. Why the hell a judge I was suing go there and start telling the kids it was a nice place to work? With the sheriff officer I used to work with, he was like, "Oh yeah, I heard you left." I was like, "No, I didn't leave. I got illegally fired. I got a lawsuit." I showed him my book. He damn near pissed in his pants. I said, "My movie is gonna be very entertaining," because the teacher, my son's teacher, read the book and she know. They were all like, "Oh my god!" It was like a movie scene. I'm sitting there talking about how these people are racist and how the courts are, and the judge come in there with the sheriff officer I used to work with. The movie is gonna be thebomb.com, but it was a classic. I'll land my plane.
All right, let me go ahead and get to I think thank people. You actually had your hand up first, and it was original. Then Mr. Engaging. Did you still want to go ahead and speak?
Oh yeah, you know I'm in the comments section talking shit about not about our people, but about the situation, about this Dilbert thing. Because like I didn't want to lose my train of thought. No disrespect to the speaker or anybody else. Do you want me to speak on the issues that I was discussing?
Yeah, that's cool. But I think thank people was actually ahead of you. That's what I'm trying to say. She still is.
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Did you want to speak? You still want to go ahead, or I see your hand down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? That was an accident. You know, I'm moving around. You know how we do. We do like 20 things at one time. So I accidentally did that. What I wanted to say is somebody was talking about we're at war. And in my opinion, white folks are at war with us. And whoever said they've been at war with us since we got here, I agree. But they are planning genocide or they would like to go back to slavery if they can get there. In my opinion, they're just testing the waters. And I think what's going on with Elon and Dilbert, my opinion is they're doing what Hitler did, which is just continue to demonize people and say, hey, look, they're making you unsafe. Hey, look at what they did. Look at this over here, until people don't care what happens to Black people. You can already see they kind of don't, right? But they just want to make sure, right? And so DeSantis is like doing his thing, all the things I said, plus some of the states even have come up with, separate policing and judicial systems. I can't remember. I think it's Mississippi that did that. And then in Atlanta, they're removing Buckhead from the city of Atlanta. They're already doing things to make their genocide easier. So, again, like the sister who just spoke was talking about the judge. What I said before about not being emotional, we need to look at who's going to put what judge in place, who's going to allow the lynching law to be implemented. We need to look at individuals and see, based on what they've been voting on and what their bills are, who's going to keep these things from at least being legalized, right? Because we know they're going to do their fuck shit anyway. But at least if it's not legal, and at least if we can recall judges or put some decent judges in place, we might have a shot at least holding somebody accountable. If we get emotional and don't pay attention to these things, they're going to get everything implemented they want, and they're going to have all the judges in place they want. And then it will be difficult to ever come back from that. So we just can't be emotional. We have to just see what we need to do, right? Because the only other way is to say, hey, you can't hold me to laws because you don't hold yourself to laws. But see, that requires you to have an army or something like that, which we don't have at the moment. So I'm just saying, since we don't, we need to make sure we get judges and people in place that at the very minimum are not going to allow those things to go forward. And where we're going to get some halfway decent judges on the bench. Because if we can, then we can start holding some police accountable. Plus, we need to think of we are so smart. We can think of some alternative ways to keep these damn police away from us. Right? I'm just saying, we need to start thinking like that. Right? We need to accept these people don't give a fuck if we get killed. As a matter of fact, they want us to be killed. So what can we do so that they're not around us? Or, you see what I'm saying? Or so we can avoid them. We can come up with that. We can push for that wherever we live. We need to be, using our minds and figuring out how we can foil their plan. And one of the things is to get the fuck off of Twitter, since Elon owns it, because he's Mr. Apartheid. So that's what he'd like to do here. And I wanted to say one more thing. There's one more site that a brother just stood up. It's called Spoutable. And he's supposed to be creating spaces there too in like a month or so. So it's free. So y'all might want to check that out too. Okay, I'll land my plane.
All right. Thank you, sister. We appreciate it. Let me go ahead and Mr. Engaging, and I want to get to Trouble next. I really want to get to Trouble first because she hasn't had a chance to speak yet. Mr. Engaging, let me get to Trouble, and then I'll come back to you real quick. Go ahead, Trouble. Unmute your mic.
Hey, shout out to the group. Much love, everybody tonight. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm gonna be quick. Gotta go. I just wanted what the sister who was just speaking. I'm sorry I wasn't looking at my phone. Thanks, Sister Thing was right on point, and so I'm just gonna say something that's really just gonna just further her point. When you look at what Elon Musk was doing and what the ADL did with trying to make the saying about white people, is it okay to be white people, a hate speech? White people are not going to look at that and be mad at the ADL. They're going to look at that and be automatically mad at black people, because the first thing that's going to come to their minds is, well, why is it not okay if you say that you're white, but it's a black thing. It's automatically going to made out to be a black thing, even though it's coming from the ADL. The ADL is doing that purposely. They're doing it purposely, just like Elon Musk throwing out casually throwing out Asians into the conversation with white people, when Asians has always been considered as non-white and has always been sort of discriminated against to a certain degree, not really, but whereas white folks is, they looked at it in a particular manner. They know the black community is going through something with the Asians right now. So for him to even throw that in there, he's kicking up the dust, just like the ADL is kicking up dust too. Why? Because you have to look at the whole, in my opinion. You got all of these immigrants coming in, and what does immigrants need in order to prove themselves to be Americanized and assimilated? Is they need to have a natural hate for the American Negro. So with all of these things coming in and all of these people coming in, they have to keep boosting up the narrative of the big black Negro. They're trying to get us out of the damn pain, and they want everyone to hate us and be looking at us like the boogeyman. And so these things keep popping up, and they're popping up back to back to back to back. It's all a part of their plan. What we have to do is we have to recognize it. We have to decide what we get emotional about, what we respond to, and then we have to sit back and get off of Twitter, have our conversations, and figure out how we're going to handle it. We got to stop holding spaces online where we're strategizing. I've been in a few white groups this week where they were strategizing, and I'm just sitting back taking it all in. So they're strategizing their plans on how they're going to get their people into positions of power. They were strategizing how they're going to counteract the narratives, what they're going to do, how they're going to go hard, where they're going to show up at. They was given all of this information. And just like I was sitting in their group listening, and some of them sitting in our groups listening too. Not to say that that's what we do here in any of our spaces, but that's what is happening. So we got to keep our head on a swivel. We got to not be emotional, but we got to be thinkers. We got to think, and we got to stay 1 step, 10 step, 5 steps ahead of them, because that's what they've always done to us. Someone said that we are at war right now. There's never been a time when we wasn't at war. We just got comfortable. We need to get uncomfortable. We need to get uncomfortable with thinking that we are not at war. We have never not been at war. The war against black people has never ended. We just got comfortable, mentally lazy in our thinking. And I wish that so many of our people wasn't posting up fight videos and different shit that they was doing in the streets, but we can't control that. This is the age of information. You got to take good with the bad. But we got to find out a way around it. And I love my people. I ain't going to keep saying that, because some people keep saying that and they don't really mean it. But, we really got to get off this site, go to social, I ain't get ready to promote none of the rest of them. I'm just gonna say go to social.
Go to Newstoter. Go to Newstoter as well too. We need that support too. So y'all need to go start visiting that daily.
Right, daily, every day. Click on a couple of articles, even if you don't stay on it. Just go to the site, just to make your presence felt. Get that traffic going up there. So y'all remember SOXCIAL.com. Remember to go to Newstoter, hit him up in his Cash App if you can. And I'm going to go ahead and go. We got a reparations rally space in a little bit. Hope to see you all there when y'all leave Newstoter space. But much love, everybody. Take care.
Yeah, that's real too, y'all. Because I'm not gonna keep the space open too long because I want everybody to go ahead and migrate over there. So let's go ahead and get Mr. Engaging up in here. Let's get Rella and let's get Original and let's let that be the last speakers for the night. And then let's go ahead and try to migrate over to the actual, for those that can migrate over to the actual reparation. I believe that space is at 9:30. So maybe be a few minutes late, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to get you guys over there as well too. So Mr. Engaging, you got it.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about from the Dover perspective, like I made posted comments in there. Like I really think that they need to shake this guy down for every penny that he got. Like on some like punking down the neighborhood or punking down the little nerdy kid with the glasses on and like take all his lunch money. Like real talk. Like I really just I'll be damned to be called out by a nerd. There's a difference between being an intellectual and a nerd, and he fits the epitome of a nerd. Also, this dude comic strip basically promoted white supremacy in hostile work environments. Like I remember during the times of the Dilbert comic strip, like some of these white people enacted some of that bullshit. So so I'm like I live in New England for those that don't know. So so my interaction with white people is unfortunately is really heavy like on the Mayo side, unfortunately. But some of the things I do observe, like I really think that there needs to be some type of restitution coming from this man. Like people need to be shaking this man down. I think that he promoted a certain behavior or degenerate behavior in the American community, and I feel like he's not being called out on. But yet still, they come at Kyrie Irving on a punk ass tweet that he ain't even say nothing. So like I'm not really feeling the double standards as a black man, black Negro man, like at all. I think the hypocrisy is insane. And I think it's almost asinine. And it's to the point that I really think that we are on the steps of the of genocide of like Nazi Germany that Professor Black Truth was talking about. Like I think we up near the 4 or 5 level now. I'm ready for them to come in with the concentration camps, and that's why I think we need to get down and get ready. But lay down, family. I'm ready to stand up and fight. I don't know about y'all, but they need to come with that reparation, like now, not later.
Real talk. Appreciate that, Mr. Engaging. Original, let's go ahead and kick it to you. It looks like Rella may have left out of the space. She could be heading over to the other space. So I'll let you, Original, be the last one for the night. And then we're going to go ahead and close it out so everybody can go ahead and check out the 2023 reparations that's going to be going on the weekend of Juneteenth. That's Sunday up in Washington, D.C., y'all. So definitely go ahead and let's start making our way to that space as well, too. So real quick, Original, if you could, so we can go ahead and get the people over to that space as well.
Yeah, what I want to say is that what Trump and everybody is saying is really true. Well, as it always has been stated, they wage war against us and they've never stopped. So don't, like she said, a lot of us got comfortable. But and see, here's the other issue. Have you ever heard of this movie called Antebellum?
I have. I know what you're talking about. Is that the one with that white guy Leonardo DiCaprio?
I don't know who. No, I don't think that. But anyway, what the movie is about? It's about, okay, they kidnapped this woman, and then they made her think that she had been taken back in time into slavery. And so what it was is that I didn't see the whole thing because I kind of fell asleep on it. That they had her somewhere. And I didn't see the end of it, but eventually I saw her and his brother. They had a cell phone, so they had them somewhere on some huge compound, making it look like they were in slavery, that they had been taken back through time or whatever, And the funny thing about that, though, there is I don't know the name of this one, but I think it's either on Hulu or FX, one of those two. There's a series that they have now with this black woman is married to this white boy, and then they're taken back in time, and so he's saying that she is his slave, but they're actually married together. I'm telling you all, we are dealing with some beyond sick people. there isn't any hope for them. But I think on this go round, they're going down because they're not going to be able to do what they did the last time. They might, they try to go for bad and they try to use intimidation to invoke fear within us. But what they fail to understand that a whole bunch of us are packed and ready. You knock on my door, hey, do whatever, but you won't walk off my property, you will roll off. So just like they getting ready for us, we get ready for them. You know, you want to, like they say, you want to be starting something? Okay, go ahead and do that and see what happens. Because even back during the civil rights movement, there was this one guy I heard somebody talk about here in Atlanta. He always kept a gun with him. He wore cowboy boots and a hat. They say he always had that 38 down in those cowboy boots. See, some of our people, they knew how degenerate and sick these people are. And they were like, I'm not walking around here without no damn gun. Hell, you come at me, I'm gonna shoot your ass. And they know they knew which black people to bother and which ones to not bother. Because they only bothered the ones who was heavily into religion and whatever and wasn't gonna fight them back. But those that would fight them, oh no, they didn't bother. They do not to bother those people. So that would be a wrap for them. But that's almost there. I'm gonna land with that so you can move over to the other space. And everybody have a good night.
All right, Original. I appreciate that. DJ Ray, y'all want to say something real quick before we go ahead and close this out and make our way to that other space real quick?
Yeah, glad Lori Lightfoot lost. Roscoe Baraka Nork, you next, as well as all these other black, benign neglect, bootlicking, black caucus, crackinackers, y'all next. And Elon, you's a bitch, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, just Twitter is trash, you know what I mean? Come over to social, soxcial.com, soxcial.com, and I'll see you over in the reparation space. Get in the Jumbotron, it's in the Jumbotron too, the next Twitter space.
All right, and look like Ray, he must have went down. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna head over to this reparations space. Y'all go ahead if you can come over there. You may be busy, but if you're not, come over there and just check it out real quick. Thank you to the speakers and to the actual. I see Ray trying to come back up here real quick. So let me see what's up. If Ray want to say something real quick. Ray, you trying to say something real quick before we head to this other space? You there, Ray?
Yo, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We about to get ready to close it out. That's what I'm saying. You want to say something real quick?
Nah, man, go ahead, bro. I've been in this space all this time. 2 minutes before y'all get ready to close out, I get drunk.
No, okay.
Next space. You said it's a reparation space about to go on?
Yeah, Marcel has a reparation space with no taxation. So we're going to head over to that.
Top left Jumbotron, right? Top left Jumbotron, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to head over to that space real quick. And everybody, thank you to the co-hosts and the speakers and all the listeners. Thank you for those that contributed on Cash App. Thank you for those that shared out the actual space as well. Thank you for those that like and retweet the comments. Guys, we'll see you over there in the actual reparation space. So y'all take care. Have a good night. And hopefully we'll see y'all over there. So see y'all tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.